Okay, let's jump right into this, because what we're talking about here is a move that could seriously reshape the global AI landscape. Microsoft is making a massive, multi-billion-dollar bet on India's future, and we're going to break down exactly what that means.
First, just look at that number, $17.5 billion. This isn't just some line item on a spreadsheet, right? This is a monumental commitment. It's a signal flare that the future of AI is being built in new and exciting places.
And you don't just have to take my word for it. Microsoft's own CEO, Satya Nadella, put it in no uncertain terms. This is their largest investment ever in Asia. I mean, that one sentence says it all, doesn't it? This isn't business as usual. This puts India right at the center of their entire strategy for the continent.
So when you see a number like $17.5 billion, you gotta wonder, what does that actually buy? What's the plan here? How is that money actually going to be used, and what's the timeline? Well, let's get into it.
This whole thing isn't happening overnight. It's a multi-year plan with some really clear stages. It actually builds on an earlier $3 billion commitment they already made, but things really kick into high gear from 2026 to 2029. We've got a huge new data center coming online in mid-2026, and it all leads up to this incredibly ambitious goal of training up millions of people by 2030.
All of this really begs the big question, right? I mean, everyone, everywhere is racing to dominate the world of AI. So why India? Why right now? What is it that makes India the new AI battleground?
Yeah, let's just ask it straight up. Why is India suddenly the jewel in the AI crown? Well, the answer isn't just one thing. It's kind of like a perfect storm of different factors all coming together at exactly the right time.
And here's what's so powerful about it. These factors all feed into each other. You have this enormous population generating unbelievable amounts of data. Then you have a booming startup scene and a massive pool of tech talent to actually do something with all that data. And the cherry on top, the government is all in with a national AI-first strategy. It's the perfect recipe.
But here's the thing, Microsoft is not playing this game alone, not by a long shot. They see the potential, but so does everyone else. The race for India's cloud and AI future is officially on. I mean, look at this. Google's already pledged a massive $15 billion themselves. This is a high-stakes chess match between the world's tech giants.
So how exactly is Microsoft planning to win this race? Well, they're not just throwing money at the wall and hoping something sticks. They have a really clear three-pillar plan, and breaking it down this way makes it super easy to see where all those billions are going. And those three pillars are scale, skills, and sovereignty. It's a pretty simple way to think about it, really. You need the raw power, that's the infrastructure. You need the brain power, the people who know what to do with it. And you need the groundwork, the trust and security that makes the whole thing possible. So let's dig into each one. All right, first up, scale. This is all about the hardware, the nuts and bolts. We're talking about building the actual physical foundation for India's AI ambitions. And the crown jewel of this whole plan is a new hyperscale data center in Hyderabad. Now, Hyperscale is just a fancy way of saying it's built to handle a ridiculous amount of traffic. And get this, when it goes live in mid-2026, it's going to be the biggest one in the entire country. So just how big is the biggest in the country? It's kind of hard to picture, right? Well, try this on for size. The new Hyderabad region is going to be about as big as 2 Eden Garden stadiums put together. Just think about that for a second. That much physical space, all dedicated to digital infrastructure. It's wild. Okay, so you can have the biggest, baddest data center in the world, but it's really just a big empty box if nobody knows how to use it. And that brings us to pillar number 2, skills. This is where Microsoft is really, truly doubling down. Their new goal? Get 20 million people in India trained up with essential AI skills by 2030. That is a lot of people. And this isn't some someday promise either. They're already on it. In fact, they're crushing it. They've already trained 5.6 million people since the start of 2025. They are way ahead of schedule. So this isn't just talk, it's already having a huge impact. And that brings us to our third and final pillar, sovereignty. And honestly, this one might be the most important. It all comes down to trust. Microsoft is rolling out what they call sovereign-ready clouds. Basically, it just means they're built from the ground up to follow India's specific rules about data. So for big companies or the government using tools like Microsoft 365 Copilot, all their data stays in India. That is a huge deal for security and regulation. So, we've talked about the corporate strategy, the billions of dollars, the data centers, but what does any of this actually mean for a regular person in India? Let's zoom in and look at the real human impact here. because this is where it gets really interesting.
So, in practice, what does this actually look like? Well, one of the first big goals is to get AI-powered tools into the hands of over 310 million informal workers, all through government platforms. I mean, just think about that number. We are talking about applying AI on a scale that is almost hard to comprehend.
And this table really shows you the before and after. Take a government platform like the National Career Service. Before, you had limited language options, you had to search for jobs manually, it was pretty old school. Now with AI, you've got access in multiple languages, AI helping find the perfect job for you, giving you personalized career advice, and even building your resume for you. It's a total game changer.
All right, let's zoom back out for a second and look at the big picture here. What does a partnership this huge really signal for the future? Not just for Microsoft, not just for India, but for everybody.
This quote from India's Union Minister of Electronics and IT, I think, really nails it. The ambition here is massive. He talks about making a leap from digital public infrastructure to AI public infrastructure. Think about that. The goal isn't just about getting people online anymore. It's about building an entire country's core services on top of AI.
So, when you bake AI this deeply into a country, into its infrastructure, into its workforce, into its public services, it leads to a really powerful question. Are we watching India become something totally new? Something the world has never seen before? Could this be the world's first truly AI-powered democracy? That's a heck of a thought to leave you with. Thanks for diving into this with me.